My salutations to each one of you. Anytime when you have anger, then you are annoyed, nervous, guilty, embarrassed, and resentful. This word anger is an acronym wherein, I'll repeat, you're annoyed, you're nervous, you're guilty, you're embarrassed, you're resentful. Anger and ego are related. Whole world is not there to fulfill all your wishes, to fulfill all your ego. When you say, I want this, I want this to happen, I like this, as if the whole world is there to fulfill your wishes. And the best part is when you say, I did not expect this from you. When you say that, in most of the cases, the other person does not even know what were you expecting. So when you say, I did not expect this from you, what you mean, other person does not even know. Anger destroys relationship and ego destroys success. Your position, your prestige, your privilege, all can nosedive in moments with a spark of anger. And if you are not apologetic, your ego can end your entire achievement of life. Anger is an emotion. And ego is your psyche, is your personality. One shopkeeper was closing his shop in the night, and accidentally a snake entered the shop. So that snake which entered the shop, it hurt itself with a huge knife lying in the shop. He bruised himself, the snake bruised itself with that knife. And the snake got very angry. He bit that knife, and as a result, he started bleeding. He became even more furious. And as a result, he wrapped around the knife and he hurt himself. The snake hurt itself very badly. In the morning when the shopkeeper came, he saw the snake died. Now you see, this is what happens to us. When we are angry, we don't stop at that. We take a step further. We hurt ourselves even more than that. We don't stop at that. And ultimately, what happens is, whatever we have achieved in life, everything is finished. If you are in a job, you might lose a job in a few minutes. If you have achieved in politics, you could lose everything because of your anger in a few minutes. And this may happen in any field of life. Even all the disease which we are suffering from, most of the disease are because of anger. High blood pressure, insomnia, and many more. Because all these are psychosomatic disease. A person wakes up late in the morning, say he's 15 or 20 minutes late, he wakes up, and then look at his routine. He will disturb everybody at home because he's in a rush to go to office. He will behave inappropriately with the housemaid. Then he's misbehaving with the liftman. Oh, you're so slow. Why can't you come on time? You know, I'm in a rush. Then he'll start shouting with his driver. And then everywhere at every crossing, he starts shouting at the policeman, oh, the traffic is so bad. I mean, people don't know how to drive car and all that. So you must have seen this. This is a very common scenario. Everywhere. You could have woken up half an hour ago and could have avoided all this situation. But no, you were late, and for your mistake, now you lose temper at everybody. Every second person you come across, you're losing temper. And now you walk into the office, what happens is your boss is shouting at you. Now you take the shouting from him. Whole day you are taking the shouting from your boss. Now when you come back home, you are shouting back at your spouse. Then the spouse is shouting back at the children. So just because, what is the triggering point? You got up late 15 minutes in the morning. Just because you got up late 15 minutes in the morning, you see the chain reaction. How many things happened because of one act? Anger has 5 components. Like previously we spoke about what happens when you're angry, you're annoyed, you're nervous, you're guilty, you're embarrassed, you're resentful. So this acronym anger, A-N-G-E-R. Now, anger has 5 components. That also luckily follows the same rule. The acronym anger, A-N-G-E-R. So these are 5 points. Now, the first one is, there are many kinds of anger. Some people have passive anger. You ask them, are you angry? The person, no, I'm not angry. I'm not at all angry. So you keep asking, are you angry? No, I'm not angry. I'm not angry. Now, this is passive anger. When a person is angry, but he will show that he's not angry. This is, it's called passive anger. Then there is something called open anger. So open anger is the usual anger which we come across. That you lose your temper, you blast off people, you misbehave with everybody around and all that. Now that is open anger. Now the other one is, which we are talking about, assertive anger. Assertive anger is somewhat positive, where whatever you're trying to achieve through anger, you will be able to achieve. But in the first 2 categories, you're not going to achieve anything. In the passive anger, you will not achieve whatever you want to achieve. But of course, there'll be peace because you're not into that, shouting match. Open anger, of course, the situation will go worse. And this assertive anger, what happens is, in assertive anger, component of your intellect and wisdom is still there. You are operating through your intellect. In the other forms of anger, intellect is missing. You blow your top. There was a king who was quite a spiritual king, a religious king, who used to take care of his subject quite well. And there was a neighboring kingdom where there was a king, and he was an enemy king. He was always attacking this king. So in the past 2 occasions, that enemy king attacked this kingdom, and this king always won. And he won, and luckily that enemy king always escaped. Somehow he escaped. Though he lost the battle all the time, but he escaped. So 3rd time again, that enemy king attacked, and this time, unfortunately, he was captured. He lost in the previous battles also. So this time also he lost, and this time this king took out his sword and wanted to kill him. The moment he wanted to kill him, the other king, the enemy king, spat on him, on his face. He spat on his face. The moment he spat on his face, this king stopped. He was about to kill him, but he stopped at that because the other king spat on him. So that king was dumbfounded. He could not understand. The enemy king did not understand what has happened. He said, just by spitting on him, I could save my life. I mean, this was very amazing. So he was very curious. He asked him that, why have you spared me? Why didn't you kill me? He said, you see, you have harmed my kingdom. You have troubled my subject. Hence, I wanted to kill you, and that's my duty. That's my duty to kill you. But now, since you have spat on me, now what has happened is you have caused an anger in me. I don't want to kill you in my anger. If I kill you in my anger, it will be a sin. I'll kill you not in my anger. Then he waited for some time, for about 30-40 minutes, and he became normal. And then he killed him. Now you see, it is the same killing. It is the same killing. There is no difference in the killing. The same killing, the method of killing was same, everything was same. But he did not want to kill him in anger. Because killing him in anger would have been, because that is a personal insult to him. He was a king, he spat on him, so that means he made him angry. And if he kills him, then he has killed him in anger. That is a sin. And this one, when he is killing him to safeguard his kingdom, then it is a virtue. Then it is a merit point. So you do the same act, but if you're doing it in anger, then it becomes a sin. Then it becomes a sin. So the first point in anger is assertive anger. And in assertive anger, your intellect, your wisdom is still intact. Because sometimes what happens, you will come across people, they are not angry, they are faking their anger. They are faking. I prefer gallery. Yeah. So they are faking their anger. They are not really angry. So if you are not really angry, then it is a management tool. Then it is a device to get your work done. Then you are in control of situation. But if you are really angry, in reality you are angry, that means you have lost the battle. Then things are going out of your control. You are no more managing people. You are no more managing situation. You are not managing anything anymore. Because if you are really angry, then you are, that's called open anger. That means you are out of control. But that is not advice. So what is advice? Assertive anger. Assertive anger is what is recommended. AN. N is for notice. What should you notice? When somebody is angry, you will notice his breath has changed. Anybody who's angry, first thing, his breath would certainly change. He'll be breathing faster. That person would be breathing faster. That person would be breathing shorter. He won't be breathing full. He'll be breathing faster. He'll be breathing shorter. And most likely he'll be breathing from his right nostril. What happens when your breath is not touching your navel, when it is not touching your navel, when you're angry, certainly it will not touch your navel. When you're breathing, it is not going down. Probably it is only coming up to here. So it is a shallow breathing. So you will get angry. When you are angry, your breath will be shallow. It won't be deep breath. You will be breathing most likely from your right nostril. And you will be breathing faster. It will be something like, so you're breathing faster. You're not breathing slow. If you're slow and deep, that means you can't be angry. So breath is a wonderful tool to manage your anger. Breath is a wonderful tool to manage your anger. So the first thing is, when you get angry, what do? You watch your breath. The moment you watch your breath, you would know that I'm not breathing properly. You correct your breathing. The moment you correct your breathing, what will happen is you will lose your anger. We'll take question and answer. Let me first complete whatever points I have in my mind. Then we'll deal with question and answer. So, some people, when they're angry, you would see that their body starts trembling. You must have seen some people, they start trembling, you know. So, when you are angry, start watching yourself. Watch your breath, watch your body, watch your emotions, watch your feelings. If you can watch all this, what will happen is you will get a hang of it. You will know. Sometimes this shivering of hands or shivering of body will precede anger. So you know that I'm going to get angry. If you know about your breath, if your right nostril is on and you're starting a conversation with somebody, it might so happen that you might become angry. So if it is an important discussion, you may avoid discussing with your right nostril. So you can take precautions. So you can watch your body, you can watch your feeling, your thoughts, your breath. So once you start watching all this, you get a control over yourself. That's why you will see some people say that when you're angry, start counting from 1 to 10 backwards. 10, 9, 8. Some people suggest. Few people, they suggest this technique that when you are angry, you start counting backwards 10 to 1. This works. So, you know, some people say, oh, if you are angry, have a glass of water. Some people say, so this, you can only do all this when you start watching your body, your emotions, your breath. Some people, they make a fist when they get angry, they'll make a fist. So you start observing yourself. You start observing yourself. And if you don't know, if you can't observe yourself, ask your spouse. She will tell you what all you do when you get angry. She'll tell you at least 10 points about you, that, oh, you do this, you do this, you do this. You may not be aware about yourself, but your spouse would certainly know what you do when you get angry. When you are, so this is the next point, notice. So you're noticing your breath, you're noticing your body, you're noticing your emotion. And when I say notice is an English word, but in yoga, we normally say sakshi bhav. You become witness to yourself. You become your own witness. So the moment you become your own witness, your anger will drop. The moment you become your own witness, you start watching yourself. You start watching yourself, what will happen is your anger will drop. Whether you're watching your body or you're watching your emotion, you're watching your thought or breath, whatever. So once you come into sakshi bhav, it will drop. Now, when you're angry, you also start watching the other person. Because what happens is, when it comes to other person, if the other person is hurt, the first rule is you must hear them fully. You hear them. If the other person is angry, the other person wants to be heard. You tell him, no, you keep quiet, you keep quiet. You are provoking his anger. You let him speak. You let him speak. Sense, nonsense, whatever it is. Okay, you first say. First you exhaust. So anybody. So this is very important. So when you're watching other person, you must empathize with the other person. You must hear everything from the other person. So if the other person is angry with you and he wants to say something, let him say full thing. Okay, you okay? Anything more? Anything more? Then he'll keep on saying, keep on saying, keep on saying. Let him say. Once he's completed, then only you start your discussion. Then it will be easy to deal with that person. If you don't let him speak fully, you won't be able to finish the fight. You won't be able to finish the fight. Then you must understand the situation. When you are watching the person, other person, you're watching your body, your breath, your thoughts, and you should also understand that what is triggering that anger. You must see the situation. You must be able to understand the situation. And when I say understand the situation, for instance, once what happened, one person came to Bhagwan Buddha and he insulted Bhagwan Buddha. He spoke foul language to Bhagwan Buddha. And Bhagwan Buddha did not say a word. And once he finished, then he said, anything more? He did not say anything. And then he went off. So his disciple, Bhagwan Buddha's disciple Anand was his cousin also, and he was his disciple also. So in most of the stories of Bhagwan Buddha, you will find the mention of Anand. Anand was his closest disciple, and he was his cousin. So Anand asked, why did you take the nonsense from that person? Bhagwan Buddha said, if I'm going in a jungle and if a branch of a tree falls on me, should I start hitting the tree? He said, but what has that to do with this? He said, this is the same situation. This person is full of anger. His personality is full of anger. Doesn't matter who comes in front of him. Anybody who comes closer to him, he will behave like this. So no matter who's passing through the jungle, if the branch has to fall, it will fall. It doesn't matter who's the person walking in the jungle. Similarly, there are certain persons, they're always angry. You come in contact with them, they will get angry with you, they'll start misbehaving with you and all that. That is their personality. So you shouldn't be angry with those people because that is their personality. That is their nature, that is their habit. So it's okay if they are doing like that. So Bhagwan Buddha said, nothing to worry. I mean, this is his personality. I came in contact, he got angry on me. If you come in contact, he'll get angry on you. If somebody else comes in contact, he'll get angry on him. So it's not specific to me. It could be anybody. I had heard this story many years ago. This is a true story, by the way. There was a monk who was staying in somebody's house for the night, in his devotee's house. And those days, there were those landlines only. There was no mobile phone. I'm talking about 30, 40 years ago. So in the night around 12:31, a call came, landline call came. It was a small house and the monk was sleeping in the hall, in the living room, and the house owner was sleeping in his bedroom. So the landline was in the hall, in the living room. The phone was ringing. It rang for quite some time. And this monk, he picked up the phone. When he picked up the phone, from the other side, the person started abusing. The person started abusing. Santosh, you know this. This was incident with Dharmanandji. This happened with Dharmanandji. So this monk is known to me. So the other side, the person started abusing. In the night, 1 o'clock, you pick up a phone and somebody starts abusing. What a situation. So other person started abusing profusely. Bloody nonsense, this, that, you don't want to pay the money and this and that, whatever. Anyway. So he hung up the phone. After a while, after hearing for 5 minutes all the nonsensical words, he hung up the phone. Again, after a few minutes, the phone rang. Now, this time he knows that it is the same phone. He doesn't want to pick up the phone because he knows the other side, the other person will abuse him. So he doesn't want to pick up the phone. So the phone was ringing, ringing, ringing. Ultimately, the house owner could hear the bell and he came out of the room. He came out of the room and he picked up the phone. So he picked up the phone. Again, the same thing, the other person abusing him, abusing him. So this fellow, I mean, he said, but who are you? He said, shut up. Very nonsense. And he keeps on abusing. He doesn't tell his own name. He says, but who are you? Tell me, who are you? He doesn't want to tell his name. And he keeps on abusing. Eventually, this fellow said, please, for God's sake, tell me who are you, where are you calling from, and whom do you want to talk to? So somehow he said, I'm so and so. He said, but who are you? I don't know you. Huh? And he said, whom do you want to speak? So he gave some name. He said, but I'm not that person. And this is not that city you're talking about. So then that fellow said, oh, I'm sorry, this is the wrong number. He abused for 10 minutes in the previous call. He abused in the second call for another few minutes, 10 minutes. And now he says it's the wrong number. Sorry, it's the wrong number. Anyway, now what happens is this monk knew that he has been abused. The devotee has been badly abused. So the monk asked him, what happened? He said, nothing. Somebody called. So yeah, I know somebody called because I picked up for the first time and now you have picked up for the second time. So yeah, this fellow, this was a wrong number. He said, fine, I understand this is a wrong number. I heard you saying so. But then he abused you. He said, but sir, it is a wrong number. It's fine, but he abused you only. You heard all the abuses. You took all the accusations. You heard all the abuses. You heard all the abuses. But all the abuses you heard and you did not get hurt and you did not get angry only because it was a wrong number. Had it been a right number, you would have been insulted, you would have been angry. So in life, if somebody abuses you, somebody insults you, take it as a wrong number. That's it. So this is one wonderful principle in life. So if somebody talks rubbish to you, you tell your mind, oh, this is a wrong number. That's it. So it won't impact you. Had it been a right number, the insult was, the person who's hearing it, the insult is for him only. The entire insult is on him only. But that person did not get insulted, did not bother, did not get angry because he said it is a wrong number. So this is a great device that whenever something happens like this, tell your mind, oh, this is a wrong number. Okay. Now, there was a young monk in a Buddhist monastery. He was very fond of doing all his rituals and doing his meditation. He always wanted to follow his rituals and he wanted to follow his meditation. But he would always get disturbed in his ashram. He would get disturbed, because some people are chit-chatting, somebody is bothering and all that. So he would get disturbed. He wouldn't enjoy his meditation because of the disturbance in that ashram. So what happened? One day he thought, why not I go away from this place and do my meditation at some better place? There was one lake, there was one boat over there. He took a boat, went in the middle of the lake, at the middle of the lake, and then he started meditating. He said, this is a wonderful place. And nobody is around, not even a bird around, nobody. So I'm all alone. And so he started meditating over there. After a few minutes, what happened is his boat was kicked by some other boat, probably kicked by something. And this fellow got very angry. He said, even here people have come to disturb me. I've left the ashram, I've come here, in the middle of the lake, I'm meditating, and even here they don't let me meditate properly. He got very angry. So second time again the same thing happened. Now this time he got very abusive and he lost his cool. And when he started abusing and shouting and he opened his eyes and he saw there's nobody around. There was another boat which has hit this boat. And there was nobody in that other boat. So he was really perplexed. Then he realized the anger is inside. So when there is anger inside you, anything will happen to you, you will get angry. Anybody who will come in contact with you, you will get angry. Anything which touches you, you will get angry because the anger is inside you. There's nobody on the other side. The anger is inside you. Your boat has been rocked by some other boat because of breeze, because that boat, because of the breeze, it came in contact with this boat, and there's nobody. So similar is the case in our life. Similar is the case in our life. We get angry without a reason, without a purpose, because you're full of anger. Now you need an excuse to be angry. You need some excuse. Somebody, whoever comes in contact with you, you blow your top. This is a very famous Zen story. It's called Empty Boat. This is a very, very famous, all the Zen masters, they give this example. Now, there are certain situations, what happens is, you can view them differently. You feel somebody has insulted you. You feel something wrong has happened and you got angry over it. Now, if you change your perspective a little, you might find a humor angle in that. There are people who start laughing. Instead of losing temper, they start laughing. I've come across such people. They start laughing. So if you can change your perception, then the whole problem could be averted. Whole problem could be avoided. Now, if you're going to have a meeting with somebody and you must be able to anticipate the problem. You're going to have an important business meeting. You're going to have a important political meeting. You must be able to anticipate the problem. You must be prepared. You must anticipate. If this person will ask me this question, this should be my answer. If he asks this question, and this is how I'm going to paraphrase myself. So you must be, for instance, I tell you, somebody, Amar comes to me and tells me that Arun, Rishi was speaking ill of you. He was criticizing you. Let's take that as an example. Now, what can I do? I can immediately call Rishi and start shouting at him. Oh, you insulted me. Oh, you said I'm nonsense, I'm this, I'm that. I can do that way. Or I can anticipate the problem and I can talk to him in a different way, that somebody was saying this. I don't believe in this. What do you say? Now the other person could say, no, there was a conversation going on and I participated in the conversation. I said like this. Because the moment when if you charge him directly, he will defend himself. So you must be able to anticipate the problem and you must choose your words. So this was another, the first one was assertive anger. Second point was notice, wherein notice, you'll notice the breath, you'll notice the body, you'll notice thoughts, feelings, the other person, you notice the situation, you notice the subject, and so on. The third point is A and G. G is gild your words. Now, this is very, very important. What you say is less important. How do you say is more important. People get affected by how you say. It is not your words. How you narrate those words, that is quite important. You see, in Mahabharata, we know about that story. The whole Mahabharata happened because of one statement. We all know this. Draupadi said what? What did Draupadi say? Andhe ka putra andha. Blind son of a blind father. This is what she said. She made fun of Duryodhana just by saying this. blind son of a blind father. This is all she said. And the whole war happened because of this statement. He got hurt, he got angry, it hurt his ego, and that is a trigger point of whole Mahabharata. The whole Mahabharata happened because of this statement of Draupadi. Had she not made this statement, probably the whole Mahabharata would have been avoided. But she made a statement, blind son of a blind father. And normally what happens is, people who talk too much, they are more likely to cause anger to others, or they are more likely to get angry. Those who talk less, when you talk less, the chances of getting angry is also less. If you're an excessive talker, you keep talking, then you will speak something wrong, there will be slip of the tongue, or something would go wrong somewhere. There will be some mismatch somewhere. And because of that, angry situation would be created. People normally who are not very intelligent, who are not very sharp, there's a saying in English, empty vessel sounds much. Those who know little, they'll talk more. They'll always talk more. A tree laden with fruits bows down. So a person, if you go to a party, you go to anywhere, you would see a person who's very hollow, who knows the least, will talk the most. That person will talk the most. And there's a very interesting thing. Have you seen this, what do you call, diesel tankers or the petrol tankers? Have you seen that? Wait 1 minute, let me put the wire. Running out of battery. Okay. Have you seen those diesel tankers and the petrol tankers in India? If you are transporting half the tanker, then the freight charges are more. If you are transporting the full tanker, the freight charges are less. How funny this is? Can anybody say why is this?
Because the half tanker needs to be driven slowly and very carefully.
It could be an accident because it can topple. Because when you put a brake, what happens? The whole liquid goes on one side. So it might topple anywhere. So you need an expert driver, and it has to be driven very carefully. So the freight is more. So when you're dealing with such people who have half knowledge, who know less, you have to be very careful. You have to take full care with those people. What happens is, when you meet a good person, when you meet a monk, when you meet an intelligent person, then what is the protocol? You first hear him and then you speak. That is the protocol. But if you meet a fool, what do? Keep quiet. If you meet a fool, keep quiet. Don't enter into much discussion, because then something untoward will happen. He'll provoke you, he'll create anger in you, he'll do something. Now, words are very, very important. You must choose your words. The main cause of anger is your words. Main cause of mostly all angry situations arise from you spoke something wrong, and because of that. And moreover, not only you spoke something wrong, but you spoke something wrongly, with that wrong attitude. So what you speak is less important, as I told you. How you speak is more important. You say the same sentence to somebody, it could be a lovey-dovey statement, and to somebody else it could be an insulting statement. The same statement. It is only the tonality, the difference in tone. So tonality will make all the difference. So how is your tone? So this is very important. So A was assertive anger. G was A, and N was notice. You must notice everything. Or if I may say, you should be in Sakshi Bhav. And G, gild your words. You must choose your words. You must sugarcoat your words, if possible. Now, when you are talking about words, you must give the other person a chance to speak. What happens when you're angry, when the other person is angry? Normally, you tell him, no, first let me speak. The other person says, no, let me speak. Both of them are in rush to speak. Give the other person chance to speak fully. Half the problem will be over. Give him a chance to speak fully. Tell him, okay, you speak. First you speak, it's okay. I'll speak later. Let the person speak. Then you ask him, okay, you want to top up something more? Want to speak even further? Complete your point. You remember something more? Complete it. You give him a chance to speak. What will happen? His anger would subside. His anger. You don't let him speak, his anger will never subside. Let the other person speak fully. You let the other person. And when you are talking to the other person, make sure that don't mix your old grudges with it. What happens is when you start fighting with somebody, you remember in 2020, what did you do? Then you remember in 1980, what did you do with me? Huh? And what about that? When you went for that holiday, you did. So you are fighting on one topic right now. Restrict yourself to that topic only. Don't go into history. Don't bring up other issues. Don't mix and match. Because once you start bringing other issues, the other person will also, and it will be a never-ending battle. It will go on. You will add 2 points, he'll add 1 point, you will add 3 points, other. So, no. So, whatever is the point of discussion, stick to it. Now, normally what happens is when you're angry, you speak a language which the other person will pick up. One line he will pick up out of your conversation. And then he'll start quoting again and again that same line. Oh, you said this, huh? You said I'm a donkey, huh? You said, huh? You said, huh? You said I'm a donkey. Now, you don't mean it, but the other person will keep on harping on that point. You said 10 good points. You said 10 sensible points, but one wrong point you said, you are a donkey. Now, the other person will forget everything else. He'll keep on harping on that point. Oh, you said I'm a donkey, huh? So I'm a donkey. So you must be very careful. You choose your words. Don't give the other person an opportunity to latch on to you, to latch on to your words. So be very careful. Be careful when you're angry. And when we are angry means what? We're talking about assertive anger. So don't give the other person a chance to, you're making all 10 good points. One wrong statement you made, he'll catch on to that. He'll forget all the others. So always try to put across your point with respect and love. If you do that, what will happen is you will win the war. Even if you're in the office, you're having a discussion with your employee, with your junior or somebody, put forth your point with respect and love. So that is very important. Otherwise, whatever you say, he will forget and he'll catch on to one wrong statement of yours. So first point was assertive anger. Second point was noticing everything around, the people, yourself, situation, everything. Third point was gild your words, A and G. And the fourth point is E. E is energy and emotions. Yes. What happens is, there are two kinds of people in this world. Some are permanent lunatic, some are temporary lunatic. We all are temporary lunatic. Temporary lunatic means what? You become insane for some moment, sometime. You get angry. So, anger is an insanity, temporary insanity. Anger is a temporary insanity. If you are permanently angry, then what will happen? Say, there are people who are permanently angry. They are angry forever. Now, if they are angry forever, then they need to be put into lunatic asylum. then they are not fit to be into this civilized world, because they can harm anybody, they can hurt anybody, they can do anything untoward. So we have to understand that anger is a temporary insanity. You have to, and one thing more, when we are talking about this is an energy, anger is an energy. Now this energy this is a destructive energy. Of course, it's a destructive energy, but you can channelize it and make it a creative energy. This anger can be converted, could be diverted from destructive energy to creative energy. Now, what happens is, let me give you an example. Say a relative comes to your home. Your uncle came to your home and your uncle insulted you. Your uncle insulted you. What are your options? Your uncle said, oh, this fellow is a donkey. This fellow is good for nothing. Say your uncle said this. Now, what are your options? Either you tell him back, oh, I'm not a donkey, you are a donkey. You can say that. You can also say that. Some people are capable of doing that also. There are some people, what they do is, they will say, okay, I'll prove this man, he will eat his words one day. I've seen such people. What he will do, he will prove him wrong. In 3 years, 4 years, he will achieve something unique in life. Same uncle will come to your home and say, oh my God, I can't believe you have achieved the impossible. You have done something which none of us could ever imagine in our life. Say, for instance, you failed an exam or you did not do well in your exam. So the neighbors come or somebody comes and say, oh, this fellow is duffer. Now, next time, if you resolve that I'll come first in the class or I'll come first, I'll get first division, the same neighbor would come and say, oh my God, what has he done? So this is called creative channelization. Instead of putting your anger on that person, put it on your work. When you divert the anger on your work, it becomes a creative force. When you put the anger on the person, then it is destructive. When you put the anger on the work, then it becomes creative. Your boss insults you. Prove him wrong. That's the way. Don't get into an argument with your boss. Oh, no, you are wrong, you are wrong. Don't get into that argument. You prove him wrong by doing the work efficiently. So when somebody insults you and when you put the focus on the person, then it is destructive force, destructive energy. And when you put the energy on the work, then it is creative. So in anger, always try to divert your energy on the work and not on the person. There was a king and he was very fond of taking good advice from people. So whoever would come to his kingdom, he would say, okay, tell me something good, something new, teach me something good. But he would never follow the advice. He would never, follow the advice. And this wise man who came to his kingdom, he knew this, that this king is like that. He would take all the advice, he would learn everything, but he would never implement anything. He would never change. He would remain same. So this wise man said, sir, I don't give free advice. And this was in the full kingdom when the ministers were sitting around and he said, sir, I don't give free advice. So obviously king would say, okay, I'll pay you whatever you want, I'll pay you. He said, okay, sir, you have to give me 100,000 gold coins. Then I can give you a very good tip, life tip. So the king said, now I'm in a fix in front of so many people. I've told him, now I can't go back. So he agreed. He said, okay, I agree to give you 100,000 gold coins. So he said, okay, what is your piece of advice? What is your piece of that wisdom? He said, when you get angry, before you act, think twice. He said, that's all. He said, yeah, that's all. So only for this, you charged me 100,000 gold coins. He said, yes. So this is my ultimate sermon to you, ultimate advice to you. When you get angry, don't do or act upon anything. And before doing anything, think twice. The king was very upset. Every day he would repeat in his mind that, oh, this fellow has cheated me. He's taken 100,000 gold coins and this just one piece of advice he gave me for that. Anyway, so once king went out for some work to some other kingdom. When he came back in the night, he saw one person sleeping in the queen's room. Queen was sleeping and one more person was sleeping there. He got very upset and he took out his sword. He was about to kill that person. And then it reminded him, oh, that person had told him, in anger, think twice. So this fellow said, since I paid 100 gold coins, now might as well implement his advice also, since I paid such a big amount. So he thought for a while and then he said, okay, let me wait for Queen to wake up. Then in a short while, Queen woke up and Queen was very happy to see the king. And she said, today is a very auspicious day. You know what? He said, what? You know this boy, who's he? King said, no, I don't know. She said, he's your son. You remember in the childhood, he had gone to Gurukul. And after so many years, he has come back. So obviously, kings would not recognize their child because they would stay far off in the Gurukul. So the king then realized that, okay, I did the right thing. Had I killed this boy, I would have regretted all my life. So 100,000 gold coin, what he gave was useful because it took one advice and he took it seriously. So whatever you learn in life, if you take even one advice, one sermon seriously, you are through. Because we are discussing so many things here. We are discussing this, so many things. Even if you follow one rule, whatever we are discussing over here, and if you can implement that, I mean, that's it. You have won the battle, you have achieved. Now, so this was energy and emotion. And the last point is react and respond. Of all the points, this is the most important point. ANGER, react and respond. If anything, whenever somebody sends you a nasty email, the rule is don't reply the email immediately. Take half an hour minimum to reply. Somebody sends you a nonsensical WhatsApp message. Don't reply to him instantly. Reply to that person at least 30-40 minutes later. Delay the response. Because when you delay, then it becomes a response. When you don't delay, then it becomes a reaction. If you don't delay, so delay is so you must delay. If anything, if somebody comes in your office and tells you that you are stupid, keep quiet. You reply him back after half an hour. Don't reply immediately. Somebody sends you a nasty email, don't reply immediately. Somebody calls and says something nonsense to you, don't say anything immediately. Reply after half an hour. So this is very, very important. Instantly, if you do, it will be reaction. If you do later, it will be response. If you do it instantly, it will be reaction. And what happens in reaction? You will be playing a hurting match. He says you are stupid. Oh, you are a bigger stupid. No, you are donkey, or I am donkey. You are this, you are that. So there will be a shouting match will be going on, a hurting match will be going on. And that's not your objective. That's not your objective. Now, when you instantly reply somebody said something to you, and when you instantly reply to somebody, then it is an emotional reply. It is an emotional reply. And if you take time, if you reply the person a little later, then it is a logical reply. You think for a while. Somebody said something to you, and you think for a while. After half an hour, 90% of the cases I can tell you, you won't feel like replying at all. You'll say, okay, it's okay. He told me donkey, so what? So what? Doesn't matter. You won't bother about it. You won't bother about it. But instantly, you want to, oh, I'm a donkey, you're a double donkey. This, that, all that, you will start a hurting match. So always delay the response. If you are doing it instantly, you are reacting. If you are doing instantly, you are replying based on your emotions. So delay response is the fundamental rule. So what are the 5 points? What are the 5 components of anger management? One is assertive anger. Second is notice everything. Notice your breath, notice your body, notice the other person, notice the situation, notice the subject, notice your feeling, everything you notice around. Be in Sakshi Bhav. And the third is gild your words. Words are very important. Bulk of the fights start because of words. Bulk of the fight starts, somebody's phone. Dr. Ten, can you turn off your microphone? Yeah. So third point is gild your words. So you must be careful of your words. See, your anger will start from where? First it comes in your thoughts. Then it comes into your words. First in the thoughts. So if you're a wise person, you can manage it at the level of thoughts. You won't let it come to the level of words. You won't let it come to the level of words. Because if you're watching your emotions, you will check it at the level of your thought only. So first point is assertive anger. Second point is notice everything around. Third point is gild your words. Fourth point is energy or emotion. So anger is a temporary. Yes, very nice. Very nice. You made it. You made a summary. And the fifth point is react versus respond. Anger. And when you're angry, what happens is you are annoyed, you are nervous, you are guilty, you are embarrassed, you are resentful. That is also anger, A-N-G-E-R. So anger management, answer is anger, A-N-G-E-R. We have given you these 5 points. And when you're angry, then what happens? You have those 5 points. So now I invite any question. If anybody has a question,